going to start managing our maintenance workflow by visiting the newly created task or the request from the tenant. By visiting my action center, I can see that I've received a new maintenance request for this property on this day. I can see the status is entered, which means it's been entered into the system. If you have lots of activity on your action center, you might want to check by applying a filter, and you can apply a maintenance filter at any point in time if you just want to see any maintenance activity that's going on within your portfolio. To start the process, we click the task, and I can see my preview on the right hand side here, and I can open to the full screen view by clicking the title. I can see now that my workflow has only just begun. I can see my activity. I can see it's only my agency that's following the activity at this point in time, so my owners cannot see it. And I can also see in my audit log, the tenant created this request on the 4th of October, just after 2 o'clock. To see the specific information, I can expand by clicking more details, and it will show me some basic information about the request. And I can also edit any request prior to actioning it by clicking the edit button and making any required changes to that particular task's information. When I'm ready to commence the workflow, I've got 4 options down the bottom. My reply function allows me to send a message. So I might do that straight away, send a message to my tenants saying thank you, and we will review, as an example. That will log the reply. The tenant will receive an email, which they can respond to, and it will come back into this thread if need be. But my next step will be to push forward with this maintenance request. So I've got 3 other options here. I can decline the request, I can refer it to my owner to review, or I can go ahead and accept it to get started straight away. If I decline a request, it will send a tenant a message saying we have declined their maintenance request, but it won't give them a reason as to why, because there are a few different options. So we highly recommend, if you do click decline, send a message to the tenant explaining why their maintenance request wasn't accepted. If I refer it to my owner, it just lets them know that we need their feedback before we proceed. And you can do that via phone, or they can receive the email and log in and accept it directly. But if it's something you're prepared to proceed with straight away, you can click accept. What you'll note is that the system has now updated it to accepted. It will also add the audit log showing that Tom, the property manager, approved this task on a particular day and a particular time. If your owner approved it directly, it will be their name in the audit log, so you know that the owner was actually the one that logged in. Now, the next step that I've got to action this approved maintenance request will be to add a job. We're going to start by clicking the Start Job button, and it's going to give me 2 options. I can send a work order, or I can collect some quotes. Now, the process is very similar. The only difference is the work order is a due and charge, and the collect the quotes will require the tradespeople to give a price before you can assign the job to them. Both our maintenance workflows require you to assign the job to a tradesperson. So even sending a work order doesn't give them permission to go ahead. Our workflow requires them to acknowledge that they are going to do that job. You can acknowledge on their behalf, or they can log in and do it themselves, and we'll show you the tradie view in a moment as well. So I'm going to get started here by sending a work order and clicking next. I've now got the opportunity to add some additional information for the tradesperson. So I can fix up the original request. So here's the information that the tenant supplied. I can add more details, but if I'm happy with the description and the information provided, I can then simply nominate the type of job. So in this example, I'm going to say handyman is required for this job, but if it was plumbing, as an example, you could add a plumber. Or if it covers a number of different trades, you can add multiple tags here as well. So if you've got fencing as an example, both handyman and the fencing specialist can take care of this particular job. So you can add multiple to that section. If you have any additional photos or supporting documents, you can attach them here, but you will see the tenant's original photo or any attachments will already be included. And finally, you have a max spend. So this is an amount that will be sent to the tradesperson, and they'll be asked to contact you for approval if they're likely to spend more than that. Now, this amount can simply be what's on your agency agreement as your max authority. That will be noted down here if you've got it set in your property profile. If you haven't set that up in your property profile, we highly recommend visiting the property profile and adding your max maintenance spend on your managements, so it will appear in this maintenance workflow for you. You might not want to add the full $500 though. If it's a basic task that you think may not cost more than $200 or shouldn't cost more than $200, you can nominate that amount in here and just simply request that the tradesperson contacts you if they think it's going to exceed that amount. Once I've added my price, I can click next and it will bring me to the marketplace screen. This job has now been created and it's about to be sent out to all the trades that are active in your area. So I can just simply rely on the marketplace and click send work order. But if I do have a preferred trade that I would like to use for this particular job, I can also send it directly to them by clicking the send directly button beneath the marketplace banner. This will allow me to also send it directly to my preferred trade. So I'm going to go ahead and select my preferred trade here and proceed to send the work order. This request has now been sent. The work order has been delivered to the tradie's inbox and they can now communicate and see it within their profile. I can click view job to go back to the newly created job and see all the information. I have my overview. I can see the status is awaiting approval and the work order here that I've sent to my preferred trade, I'm awaiting on them to accept this particular work order. They will receive an email with all the details. So all the information on this digital work order will be delivered to them via email. And if I click their profile, I can also send them messages and see their tradie profile by clicking full profile. The trade profile will show me all of their stats, all of their trading information, and all of their contact details. I can also see any recommendations and any agency badges that they might be wearing. So if they're a preferred provider for a Ray White or a Rain and Horn or an LJ Hooker, I will see that agency badge in the top right-hand corner as well. If you ever want to add your own agency badge to a trade, maybe your list of preferred trades as an example, all you need to do is contact Manage Zap and our trading team can attach your badge to whatever trade profiles you like. Now, I've got this tradie waiting acceptance. You might also see some marketplace trades put their hand up to do this job for you. So because your work order is also posted on the marketplace, any handymen or any building services companies or anyone that matches that trade category, they can see it and they can put their hand up to say, hey, I'm available. That doesn't mean they receive any information about the job. They can only see basic information like the suburb and what the particular issue is. They can't see tenant contact details, property addresses, or anything sensitive until you assign it to them. So you might have a number of trades say, hey, I'm available and I'm in the area, and their profiles will start to appear here underneath your preferred trade. So the reason why we do that is that your preferred trade might not be available for 2 weeks. Perhaps they've gone on school holidays or something along those lines. So you can click into somebody else, view their profile, and if after reviewing the fact they've done a number of jobs, they're highly recommended, they work for an agency down the road, you might feel comfortable in assigning it to them. The other alternative is that your preferred trade is ready to go. They either log in and accept the job in their profile, or they might call you and say, hey, Tom, the property manager, I don't use Managed App, I don't log in, I don't really use technology that well, but I am in the area, I got your email, I'm going to go out and do that job for you. If that's the case, the property manager can accept it on their behalf. Once I do that, the job will no longer be posted on the marketplace and it will be assigned to my preferred tradesperson. They'll receive an email saying that it's been assigned to them, instructing them to go and proceed with those works. Fast forward a few days, a week, however long it takes, your tradesperson has now finished this job and we need to get them paid. So to finish this workflow, you'll note that my job is now up, has moved along the status bar. I can jump back into it at any point in time by clicking view. And when I'm ready to finalize my payment and my rating for my trade, I can click their profile and I can drag and drop some information in here. So if your trade is proficient with technology, they can upload their invoice, they can upload some comments, they can upload a photo of the completed work, etc. If they email those to you, you can upload them on their behalf. Or if you've just got you got an invoice via your email, you can click the rate button and then the invoice button to finalize this particular payment. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to click rate and it's going to give me the opportunity to tag up some things or attributes that I thought this particular tradie possessed. So they were on time, they were affordable, and they offered a high quality service. Once I've rated them, I can go and add the invoice button. So if I click invoice, you can see it will add the bill to the maintenance task, and it will pre-fill all of the information. So with the maintenance request, it's just the tenants that are on there at the moment. So I need to add my owners so they can pay for it. And you can see here that the owners are paying that agreed amount to that particular tradesperson. If for some reason that job cost a little bit more, perhaps the tradie called me on site and said, "Hey Tom, it's actually going to be $220, not $200, and I agreed, I can update that now as well. I've got a payment reference option here. So if I do want a particular invoice number or a specific name on the reference, I can add that. But if not, the property address will be used when that payment reaches the tradesperson. The other alternative as well is that if this particular trade should be exempt from the tradie fees, if your agency is on a tradie pay subscription, but this one needs to be waived, the agency can cover the tradie costs by checking this box here. But this one here, we're just going to do it like normal. Leave the payment reference blank, click save, and I've now got a draft invoice that's ready to be sent for my job. If all looks okay, the amounts match up, the right tradie is in the receiving section, I can click schedule, and that job is now invoiced and ready for payment. I can check my transactions history to make sure that that job is now being queued, and there it is, it's awaiting payment, and that will be paid from the next time the tenant pays rent, because there should be enough money when this money comes in.